Before we begin the press conference, I would like to recognize several dignitaries that we have. First of all, we have Ms. Karen Kelly, who is the district director for our Congressman Hal Rogers, and also his regional field rep, Adam Rice. Adam, welcome. We have Pike County Commissioner Ronnie Robertson, Pike County Commissioner Jason Tackett, and Pike County Commissioner Brian Booth. We have County Attorney Kevin Keene, Pike County Jailer Brian Morris, and Justice of the Peace Donnie Skaggs. Welcome. Behind him we have District Judge Tommy May. Tommy, welcome. We have Rodney Scott, our sheriff was here a minute ago. We have our Pike County PVA, Lonnie Osborne, and I'm not sure if Anna Pinson has made it here yet. Of course, the guest of the day is our governor, I believe the 63rd governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Andy Beshear. Governor, welcome back. He's becoming a regular fixture here, and a close friend and the governor's senior advisor, Eastern Kentucky's own Rocky Adkins. We have my predecessor in the state senate, a man who is doing a very good job for us, that we appreciate his work with the fiscal court, Senator Philip Wheeler. My state representative, John Blanton. We have Representative Norma Kirk McCormick, who is here with us today, Representative Angie Hatton, and Representative Ashley Tackett Lafferty. Welcome. I'm not sure if we have anyone here from Senator McConnell or Senator Paul's office. We have, of course, Kentucky's 59th governor, Governor Paul Patton. Welcome, Governor. Mayor Andrew Scott sends his regards. He will not be able to attend today, but we have Coal Run City Commissioner Beverly Jo Osborne is here on behalf of Coal Run. We have my good friend and the mayor of the city of Pikeville, Jimmy Carter. We have Pikeville City Manager Philip Ellswick, and we have Pikeville City Commissioners Allison Powers, Pat McNamee, and Steve Hartsock. Mayor Mike Taylor couldn't be here today, but we have City Councilman Jacob Justice here, who will be speaking on behalf of the city of Elkhorn City, as well as Roger Copley and Mike Stacy, who are also on the city council. And Roger, it's good to see you here. We have Pikeville Independent Schools Superintendent David Trimble. I'd like to wish them luck in the state championship game tomorrow. And Pike County School Superintendent Reed Adkins. From Mountain Water District, we have Roy Sawyers. We have Board Chairman Johnny Dennison and Randy Tackett here. I didn't see Myrtle or Paul Cheney here. Are they here today? All right, thank you. All right, so without further ado, I would like to introduce a man who has done a lot for Pike County in a short period of time. He has done some of this on his own, but he has worked also with our Congressman Hal Rogers. This year alone, Governor Beshear and Congressman Rogers have worked to secure more than $2.5 million for the county's first county-owned industrial site at the Wolf Pit Industrial Park. That is remarkable in a short period of time. And we're going to get that done. The county's committed about $620,000. We're about 60% of the way with funding on phase, actually we're fully funded on phase 1 and we'll be moving to phase 2. Governor, I've got some numbers here that you may not be aware of. Since Governor Beshear has been in office, his administration, through emergency bridge funding, the 80-20 bridge program, discretionary funds and flex funds, has provided $1,778,086.04 to the Pike County Fiscal Court for road improvements, bridge improvements, and to improve the safety of the highways for those traveling county roads. When you add in the work that Governor Beshear and Congressman Rogers has done, not counting the Wolf Pit site, actually counting $700,000 of the AML grant. With the announcements today, Governor Beshear and Congressman Rogers' assistants and our Pike County legislative delegation will have returned $3,966,615 for infrastructure projects. Pike County. So, Governor Beshear, sir, welcome to Pike County again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. I know y'all are just clapping because we bring checks. Thank you again, Judge, and to your court. Thank you for always being so welcoming with us. Excited to be back here again with Eastern Kentucky's own Rocky Adkins. Thank you for your work. And always excited to be with an incredible governor whose example helps guide me daily, who has been accessible to me, has been a voice of calm, of good advice, and of sometimes just saying, you're doing a good job. Thank you to Governor Patton. I have another governor who calls me a whole lot, so we are happy to be back in Pikeville today, especially with the exciting news that we are here to share on water and wastewater infrastructure improvements in Pike County. Today, along with your members of the General Assembly, we are announcing 3 major water projects that are going to increase that investment by a whole lot, Judge, totaling $2,125,557. This cleaner water program, I think, is special. It's special because it mixes our values and a good example. By our values, I mean that clean drinking water is a basic human right, that everybody deserves to have those water lines to their home, and your difference in standard of living, having that right sanitary sewer system makes an enormous difference in your family and in your kids' lives. In traveling this state, being able to award these dollars, I can't tell you how many families I've met. They've been living off well water their entire lives. To see people break down in tears because of what it's going to mean for them, and to think in the year 2021, we should be able to do a whole lot better than this. But I'm here to say we can, we should, and we will. Because the funds today are part of American Rescue Plan Act dollars. We will have another $1 billion of those in the upcoming session. And that federal infrastructure bill includes over $600 million of low-interest loans on water and wastewater. What we are doing here today can be just the beginning of providing our people that basic human right. So it's important by our values, where we care about one another. It's also important by example, because of the way that it got done. It got done in a way that many thought was dead in Washington, D.C. or Frankfurt, and that's bipartisan cooperation. It was at the end of that last session of our last General Assembly. You know, not every day went as well as that one. There were some days that were like going to a really bad doctor's visit for me. I won't tell you what type of doctor's visit, but Karen figured it out. But on that day, after maybe not living up to our values every day, we came together as adults, right? Putting all the rest of it aside, realizing the health and the safety, the education of our families is so much more important than anything that would ever separate us, that we had a chance to make a generational investment here in forms of grants where nobody's rates went up to get really important work done, and to show people we could still do it, that we still cared about each other a lot more than we cared about any team, or a lot more than we might have disliked any other team. It's what we ought to be doing. And the more that we can pay that forward, the more that we can work like the congressman and I have been able to on this AML grants, I think the better we can provide to Eastern Kentucky. And I got to tell you, your legislators here are some of the very best at doing it. Yes. Senator Philip Wheeler, Representative John Blanton, Representative Norma Kirk McCormick, Representative Angie Hatton, Representative Ashley Tackett Lafferty. I would say more than just about any other region of representatives and senators have risen above some of the rancor and been willing to work to get things done. I want to thank each of you for that. I'd also like to thank Ben Hale and the entire group at the Big Sandy Area Development District. Our area development districts, our ads do a phenomenal job. We've called on them for this. We're calling on them for broadband. We're going to ask them to do a little bit more in economic development. These are groups that earn every single cent that goes towards them and bring so much more back. Without them, this program wouldn't be possible. But you know, the example from this program is bigger than just Democrat or Republican, executive or legislative, sometimes House and Senate. It's also county and city. You know, for so long, there have sometimes been difficulties across Kentucky in some of those relationships. And so there were some questions when we set up the program this way. We said we're going to allocate amounts to each county and ask them to work with their cities to get the most important projects done. And I got to tell you what, we're going to approve and award the full amount allocated by the General Assembly by the end of this year, all 160 counties coming together. And we know that modernizing, y'all maybe more than anybody, that our infrastructure is so critical. It's so critical for our families, but also for economic development. Having that next, not shovel ready, they now call it build ready because everybody's moving on a faster schedule site, is typically the key to telling somebody that they can be first to market and to get them to come right here into Kentucky. Without the right materials or capacity limits, companies cannot grow in the Commonwealth, making modern systems crucial for our economic development. None of this, again, would be possible without everybody, all the way up and down in government, being able to get along and move forward. Again, a great testament, a great example. And so with that, I think we ought to get to it. We will start with awarding more than $2.1 million for water and sewer projects in Pike County. First, we have an award for right here, the city of Pikeville. The city will use $451,480 to pay for the bulk of major upgrades to its water treatment plant. The project will install a high-service pump and filtering upgrades aimed at reducing chemical use and resulting disinfection byproducts. So would Pikeville Mayor Jimmy Carter, anybody else that y'all would like to come up from the City Council, all of our state representatives and senators, so that we can present this check for $451,480 exactly. What we got? We'll do it in front of the podium. That's pretty tall. Well, we can fit everybody. You're gonna have a whole wall of these. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Governor.
Yes. Mayor, would you like to say a few words?
Real quick. You know, I've always said that talking infrastructure is not the sexiest thing anybody wants to talk about, but the city of Pikeville has always started with infrastructure, and that's how we build upon what we've got today. And water and sewer lines are the backbone of anything you do. You know, this projects that we're going to be doing here, you were talking about reducing some of the chemicals, Governor. It's going to help us fund an unfunded mandate by the EPA that put on us a few years ago. We've been trying to figure out a way to get this thing funded. So this is really going to help. We're not going to have to take it out of the kitty, and it's really going to help to make a difference. So again, thank you. Appreciate it.
Next, we have an award for the City of Elkhorn City. The city will use more than $57,000, and we got a lot of engineers, so $57,403 to help replace a crucial water line along West Main Street. The project's going to construct more than 1,000 linear feet of new 8-inch line, which will improve system efficiency and restore capacity. So I know we got Councilman Justice, but if we can invite all the other council folks up to join us, our state representatives and senators, we will present this check for, let me get back to it, $57,403. We got it? Here we go, gentlemen. All right. And you grab part of it. You got it? I can't hold it up. It's 2 minutes. $20. Too heavy. All in quarters. All right. Great. Councilman, you'd like to say a few words?
Sure. I'm honored and humbled to be here today in place of the mayor, but he's not feeling so well, so he sent me with a little message. It says, "Dear Governor Beshear, I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for not being able to attend our meeting today, as I have been under the weather. I would like to express my gratitude for the funds that have been awarded to our wonderful city. Those funds will be used to update our old infrastructure and is an update that our small town has needed for some time. Sincerely, Mike Taylor, City of Belfort." And we are working on the water and waste, and we're also doing fiber optics at the moment. And there's so much more that we need and that we could do, so I look forward to the future for Elkhorn City. Thank you.
And I want to thank the mayor, because in the midst of this pandemic, we are asking people to stay home when they're sick. And he just lived that out. So tell him I appreciate it, as does everybody else. And finally, we have an award for the Mountain Water District. It will use more than $1.6 million, and that's $1,616,674 for the Brushy Creek Sycamore Water Line Extension Project. This important project will install nearly 30,000 linear feet, or if you're one of the engineers, 29,900 of 6-inch PVC piping and more than 24,000 linear feet, 24,366 feet of 4-inch PVC piping. All that new infrastructure will bring clean, drinkable water to 125 new residential customers in one mining facility. That's pretty special. So if our Mountain Water District members could join us up here, we've got the one last check and any of our state legislators, and then we'd love to hear a few words from you. Congratulations. Yeah, we're holding $1 million. I won't grab it.
That's my turf.
You got it? You wanna hop in here. There we go. All right. Great.
Can I take this over to Brushy and hang it?
There you go. So congratulations to everyone on all of these awards that I know will help strengthen your community. And to each community, what I love is you got to pick them, right? The most important, based on your judgment, I think that's the right way we ought to partner with you. But today, we've got some more good news to share. In addition to the Cleaner Water Program awards, the AML program Congressman Rogers has helped fund, that we work together on, is an extremely important program that's done so much good for this region. So today, we're happy to highlight an award for the Pike County Fiscal Court. Earlier this month, Congressman Hal Rogers and I announced nearly $9.2 million in AML funds for economic development projects in 10 eastern Kentucky counties. Part of that announcement included a $700,000 award to the Pike County Fiscal Court, which will use the money to install 3,000 feet of electrical lines at the Wolf Pit Industrial and Technology Park. I'm going to talk in a minute about how important it is to get infrastructure to these sites, about how it can be transformational to a community. Governor, sometimes we have to wait 10 or 20 years, but how it can pay off in huge ways that change our trajectory forever. So if Judge Jones, the fiscal court, could join us. Do we have a check for that one? Oh my goodness, Karen, please. Karen Kelly, representative for Congressman Hal Rogers, who totally knocked it out of the park at our last event. Why don't you present that check to them?
No.
Okay, then we will present that check for $700,000. Come on in.
Yeah, the legislators.
By the end, nobody's going to be in seats.
I'm the chairman of this board.
Oh, yes, and Governor.
No, it's all right, it's all right.
We got you. We got you. All right. Well, you know how to get Site ready. Judge, you like to make any remarks on that piece?
Just briefly, we could not have moved forward with the Wolf Pit industrial site but for Congressman Rogers and Governor Beshear. $2.5 million just this year alone for infrastructure for that one project. Now, if you'll bear with me for a second, this county over the years has had passed through it tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in coal service tax. And in many of those cases, the monies were simply not invested in infrastructure. They were spent on things like parks and playgrounds. And as the father of 3 kids, those things are important. But they are not long-term investments in the future of your community. You can't bring jobs to a region, to a community, without having a place to put them. You can't build factories without a place to put them. You have to have water, you have to have sewer. And over the last 20 years, what we've seen is you have to have high-speed internet service. You have to have broadband. Now, the commitment that this fiscal court made, Ronnie Robertson and Jason Tackett and Brian Booth and myself, is that we're going to focus on economic development and investing in the future of Pike County, Kentucky. And I think you're seeing that. And I will make a commitment to the people of this county today that the ARPA funds that we are receiving will be spent on infrastructure. Water and sewer and broadband will be the primary focus. And let me tell you why. I represented a county that had a water district that had significant problems with water loss, a system that was inadequate, and no money had been invested in that system to keep that from happening. There was no plan for the future. That's not going to happen to the Mountain Water District as long as this court's here, as long as I'm judge. We're going to make sure that we shore up Mountain Water's infrastructure, that we get the water loss under control. We're going to make sure that we try to eliminate straight pipes. We're going to work on our industrial sites that we have, particularly on the US 119 corridor. Now or US 460 corridor. Now let me say something. We have Dr. Jacob Justice here, a great friend of mine, the kind of future leader that we need for Pike County. And let me say why. Elkhorn City has as much potential as any small town in the United States. It's one of the most beautiful places in Kentucky, with the river, with the new US 460 that would not have been possible but for what Paul Patton made happen. And the lessons that were learned when US 119 was constructed was a lot of the field sites, all the field sites on 119, were basically just field sites. There was no thought about using those sites for industrial development by using controlled field techniques to make them suitable for development. Governor Patton made sure when US 460 was put on the drawing board that there would be 4 controlled field industrial sites possible on that road: Wolf Pit, Wolf Pen, Stone Coal, and John Moore Branch. There's also another potentially large site at Jesse Branch when this road is completed. And another person that deserves a tremendous amount of credit, this project almost died after Governor Patton left office, but Governor Steve Beshear made sure that US 460 was a reality. And I would appreciate if you would give Eric thanks on behalf of the people of this county to your dad for what he did to make that possible. That opens up a lot of doors, not only for Elkhorn City, but for Pikeville, for Coal Run, in all of Pike County. But the one thing that this fiscal court has to have is we have to have cooperation. We've seen our population decrease, we've seen our tax base decline, but we have to work together. Cities, counties, quasi-governmental entities like Mountain Water District, but we have to have our state partners like our legislative delegation, our federal partners like Congressman Rogers, and we're lucky that we have a district director who is from Pike County, so that doesn't hurt anything. And a governor who has a passion for Eastern Kentucky, and I believe Andy Beshear has a passion for Eastern Kentucky, because I know his senior advisor pretty daggone well. And we're very lucky to have Eastern Kentucky's own Rocky Adkins right outside the governor's office or in the governor's office every day. So on behalf of the fiscal court, the people of Pike County, Governor, Karen, please extend our thanks to Congressman Rogers. And we're going to make sure we move Pike County forward because there are better days ahead for this county if we will work together. And I believe we can. Republican, Democrat, Independent, doesn't matter. We're all Pike Countyans, and this is where our home is. We love it here, and we're going to make it a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you all.
That's all right. Well, before we wrap up, we got to hear from a certain Eastern Kentuckian that ensures that we have a laser focus on Eastern Kentucky in the governor's office. But let me just say, this is an exciting day. And it's part of an exciting year in this Commonwealth. While it has been dark and difficult getting through COVID, it is bright and optimistic as we emerge. We smashed the all-time record for economic development in Kentucky this year, now over $10.3 billion, and there's more to come before the end of December. And I want to say that Pike County was a part of reaching that goal because years ago, Paul Patton had a vision of putting together a mega site. He saw the opportunity to do it in Glendale, just south of Elizabethtown. The goal then was an automotive company that turns out went somewhere else, but because of that work and the investment in infrastructure, just like what we are doing here, allowed us this year to announce the single largest investment in our history, and it's not even close. At $5.8 billion, 5,000 new jobs, that Blue Oval SK Battery Park is going to make Kentucky the electric vehicle battery capital of the world. And there is no supply chain for automotive electric batteries in the United States. So it gives opportunity for Pike County. It gives opportunity for Eastern Kentucky. It gives opportunity for all over this state. And making investments like this, working together, all of us working together, mean that we can take 1, 2, 3 really great years in economic development and turn them into decades of economic prosperity. With that, I get the pleasure of working with a guy every single day that walks into my office, puts his hands on my shoulder, and turns me east. He's someone that fights and advocates for the best of infrastructure in this region, is laser focused on economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, Rocky Adkins.
Well, and the good thing about that, he turns east. We started this week, Monday, in Eastern Kentucky. We came to Floyd County and announced AppHarvest Container Farm at the Floyd County School of Innovation. It kind of makes chills run up and down my spine, the School of Innovation. We went from there to the Mountain Arts Center and announced infrastructure projects for 3 counties. What a way to start the week in Eastern Kentucky. Today, we're back in Pike County, going to a fabulous hospital that provides first-class health care to people all across this region with unbelievable leadership in Donovan Blackburn. We announced cutting the ribbon and breaking ground on the Leonard Lawson Cancer Center, the expansion, and then cutting the ribbon on the Children's Hospital. I mean, just think about that for a minute. Think about what's happened only this week in Eastern Kentucky. We wouldn't be here today without these folks sitting in this front row, these 4 House members and this 1 senator. And we wouldn't be here on this other announcement today without this lady and who she works for, Congressman Rogers, and without this guy as our governor, Andy Beshear. So I guess what I'm saying is that when we look at our local officials, our mayors, our county judges, fiscal court, city councils, Elkhorn City, and we see all of this coming together as a team effort. I mean, every cylinder clicking together. I mean, it's like that 350 mag when you push it to the floor and you hear all that cylinder clicking together. That's what I see in our region right now. You know, I see teamwork. I've seen folks coming together regardless of party affiliation and putting all that to the side. You know, there may be issues we may disagree on, but man, when it comes to water and sewer and economic investment and hope and opportunity and spreading prosperity to our people across our region, it's a pretty special time. So, Governor, I carry a challenge here today, a very serious challenge. It is our time. The governor says it very well. Our future's now. And regardless of what holler you live in or what city you come from in eastern Kentucky, our time's now. And we got to grasp every opportunity that lies before us and not let it slip between our fingers. We've got to come together as Democrats and Republicans, red and blue, push all the foolishness to the side, and let's make it happen. We've watched our coal miners break their back to provide the energy for this nation, to win 2 wars, to create the industrial revolution on low-cost energy, and create the strongest middle class ever known to the world. Karen Kelly and I stood over in the hospital just a moment ago and talked for 60 seconds. We're both from eastern Kentucky. I work for a guy that gets it, that understands, that makes the comments daily that regions have been left behind in the past, but under his administration, that will happen no more. We'll spread the prosperity to all regions of the state, especially those who have suffered from economic downturn in a way of no other. To a region like ours that have lost thousands of jobs directly and indirectly to the downturn of the coal economy. Matter of fact, the second most impacted region, Paul, in America, in eastern Kentucky. This effort is going to take all of us, from elected leaders to community leaders, folks at the state level and at the federal level. And to have a teammate like Hal Rogers. Karen and I talk quite often. And it's on a concerted effort of what we can do to combine our efforts from the governor's office to the congressional office of Hal Rogers. And we're talking just about East Kentucky today. The governor has a broader whole Kentucky, but man, there's not been one place in Kentucky that he has been more than here since he took office in eastern Kentucky. And that excites me. So my challenge, and we owe it to our people, to make sure that we take these dollars that are so valuable, hard-earned tax dollars, and what better way to spend those than to put them back in to the essential infrastructure that is needed to build up the infrastructure, but to get it to people that have never had city water. And we've experienced that twice over the last 2 weeks. To put the water and the sewer and the roads, the bridges, and the new infrastructure and the new interstate highway system called broadband. Ain't no red and blue there. It's all about putting that money back into our people. So I carry a challenge today. Let's not let this opportunity slip away from us. Let's lift up our communities and bring that hope and opportunity once again and that prosperity that our people deserve. They've earned it. They deserve it. And it's our time to make sure that it happens. I know the leadership of the hills and mountains of eastern Kentucky. I'm one of them little country boys from a holler. And I care, just as all of you care. Now look, our time is now. Our future, Governor, is today. And with this federal dollars that are rolling in and this budget that has been managed by this governor that has allowed for over $1 billion of surplus of the general fund and over another $1 billion to invest in the ARPA funds and over $700 million, John, in the rainy day account, I know we can come together and make sure that we take full advantage and bring that prosperity back home. I say this every time I speak. It infuriates me to see our region depopulating. The only time that anybody should have to leave our region is because they want to, not because they have to. I carry a challenge today. Let's pick it up. Let's make it happen. Push all the foolishness to the side. Let's get back to the basics of how we rebuild the economy and diversify the economy, create the economy of the future, create the workforce of the future, and bring that hope and opportunity back home. Back home. Eastern Kentucky. I'm not from here. I live here. I care about it just like you. Let's make it happen. We are honored to be with all of you today. As elected officials at every level, thank you for your service. Thank you for willing to put your name on the ballot. Karen, in your role and in my new role, from the federal level to the governor's office at the state level, let's make it happen. It's our turn. To the hills and mountains of Eastern Kentucky, our people have earned it, and our people deserve it. Thank you all so much.
Now, we wouldn't be here without our legislators. So, would you all like to make some comments? Senator, would you like to kick us off? Sure. Yeah.
Well, as the governor said, you know, infrastructure's not a red thing, it's not a blue thing, it's just the right thing. And I can remember, 2 years ago, that Commissioner Ronnie Robertson and Commissioner Jason Tack, Commissioner Brian Booth, the legislators here, we went to newly elected Governor Beshear's Office of Department of Local Government and Commissioner Keene, and you know, we said, look, there's still some areas in rural Eastern Kentucky that need the basics of modern life, and particularly water, which is really the foundation of all things. And, you know, there were some folks, that really didn't have a lot of hope that that would be accomplished. But I think as we stand here today, we show what working together can accomplish. That people in one of the most underserved areas of our county are finally getting the attention that they deserve. And that's thanks not only to this fiscal court, it's thanks to the entire legislative delegation, both Republican and Democrat, and our governor, and especially to my friend Rocky Adkins, who's worked with me the whole way on this. He and I have met multiple times about that, and now it's happening. And as the governor said, I hope we can announce more good things happening in Pike County, and Martin County, and Elliott County, Lawrence County, all the counties of Eastern Kentucky that do need a hand up. Because, you know, we don't like being a region asking for a handout. We want to be able to stand on our own. And these types of investments that are made here today, this will bring a brighter future so that our children won't want to leave Eastern Kentucky. They'll want to build a bright and vibrant life as our ancestors have done here before. So it's a true honor to be here today. It just warms my heart to see what the results of this great teamwork between our state, our county government, and of course always our federal government, Congressman Hal Rogers, who has always been a friend and a mentor to me, somebody I've looked up to, somebody that never asks whether you're Democrat or Republican. He only asks, how can I help you? And I think that's something that we all as public servants can live by. And I'm just so happy to be here with my colleagues at all levels of government here today. So thank you.
Well, we have another event, so thank you.
Yes, we do.
So
Okay.
But we agree that now is the time to invest in us.
unexpectedly-
Now is the time to invest, and we will be back. Thank you all very much.